Welcome to Let's Talk Autism. Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Autism. Today it's me, Linda. I'm one of the admins here at Autism and Us, and we have our moderator joining us, filling in for Linda, Lorienda.
Hi guys. Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday. How is everybody today? I hope everybody's doing well. And let me just finish setting up really quick. Yes, happy Sunday. Sorry about that. Okay. So let me see over here. Hey, Danielle. And I can't see those. Let me go over one more thing, you guys. Sorry. Hey, Lamar, I'm glad you're good. And unfortunately, I can't see who that is. Good so far.
I opened up on my phone, Linda, for in the I believe in the regular autism support.
Oh, okay, in the support. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Hello,
16 people on that one.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Steve.
Now I can't see anybody on this one on my computer.
Right here in the StreamYard?
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Let me click. Oh, okay, there it is. If I click
all the way to the right.
If I click on the comments, there it is. There's Steve.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Catherine. Hey, Jason. So what are we talking about autism? Anything. Almost anything autism related is open for discussion on Let's Talk Autism. So any questions, any resources, any information, any stories, any advice you're seeking, anything related to autism, feel free to discuss.
Yep, we're here.
We are. So how's everybody doing with, I know some people have started school and some people are getting ready to start school. What's your situation on school coming up that you know so far? Like with Brandon, is he's in a, well, I know he has worker. Is he in an A program?
Right now, no. His programs are shut down right now, and
okay.
They're pretty much. Our state has declared that yes, we are going to start back school and classes in August. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're scheduled August like 14th.
Really?
Yeah. However, they have until this Monday by 5 o'clock, close of business, to decide if they're going to keep them home, if they're going to homeschool them at home, or they're going to send them. It was Friday, but then the governor extended it and told the school board to let them extend it and let the parents decide by tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So parents have a choice, or is it a vote? Is it individual parents have a choice? Like, can you decide to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do have. Okay.
Yeah, they have a choice, and if they don't make the choice by tomorrow at 5 o'clock, this is in Florida, state of Florida, then they're going to be automatically have to go to school. So,
Really? So they will be enrolled and scheduled and everything.
yes. So you need to make your needs known. If you do not want your child to go to school, then you need to let them know by tomorrow, 5 o'clock in the state of Florida.
Got it. And that makes sense. That does make sense, because if you want, they kind of need to account for the people that are keeping their kids at home.
Right.
And all they can assume is if you haven't said you are, you're going to be in school, and they need to prepare for a spot for your student. So that makes sense. What are they doing here in California? In our school district, I know San Diego and LA have done the same thing. They've already declared distance learning, and ours is distance learning until October 19th, I think, is when they decide, depending on what's going on at that point.
Good.
Yeah, so until October 20th, we're here. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. I know the census here in Florida, most parents wants to distance learning and homeschool.
Yeah. And I was a little bit afraid, because they had called me already in June before school was getting out, and that's what I plan on doing. And of course, it's too early for me to say anything. So I just said, we'll count her as going back, because I don't want to lose her spot in this program,
Right.
So I didn't want to call it until I knew for sure.
Right.
And then, so now we're just, we've had the spot, but then they delayed it. So it's good. So we have more time to decide. Right. And it was the school buses also, so it was like, and they already said they couldn't social distance there, of course, because the bus is only so big.
I know what I have a question. What I'm not understanding is, okay, so, the past, 5 months, they've been out of school, right? Everybody's pretty much been homeschooling their kids, right? But what I don't understand is how is the school losing money? Because that's no electricity. I do know that they're still, I know in Florida, they're still, they're feeding some of the children that, are less fortunate and stuff. They're still, so that's part is fine, but I'm talking about like the electric in the school, and the buses ain't going. You don't have to put no gas in the bus. How are they losing money? I'm just, maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, see, I thought the same thing, because I know if they're in school, so when they attend school on campus, the school gets paid a certain amount per day per student, from, at Board of Education, right? And I understand that they get paid that. But in the circumstance when they're distance learning and say like a homeschool program, so like my school district has a homeschool program, they still count as you as a student, and they still got paid for you as a student, so it's the same thing. So I don't understand either. I can say maybe some people in the schools may not be making money, like say janitorial, say the, attendance office. There's certain jobs that may not be necessary, but I don't understand how the school itself is missing out. Right. And then even as far as the food is paid by USDA's, there's a food funding money, because childcare is, I have the same program. You feed the kids, the students, and you get reimbursed from the USDA. So you get reimbursed that money as the school district gets reimbursed the same way. So, and it's per meal, per student. So I don't understand that part either, that they're losing money there, because it's not technically them anyway who's funding that.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
They're saying, the school itself. I mean, I know I feel bad because some of the teachers have lost jobs or whatever. And like you said, the janitor and the different, maybe even the cafeteria ladies and,
the school nurse. Yeah.
Right. The school nurse and stuff. But I'm talking about the school itself. They were talking about in Florida. They were like, yeah, the school is losing money. And I'm like, but you're not running no electric in all them schools, no buses, no gas.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, you should, it should be like you're saving, and then should be able to pay out to, like a severance or something to these people that can't work. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, and those people have paid into unemployment, so you would think that the funding comes from there for their income as well. So I have no idea.
Well, we don't want to go there in Florida with the unemployment, child. Ooh.
Oh yeah. It's been a big mess. Oh my goodness.
There's people that still haven't got their checks.
I see. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Like since like March, haven't got a check.
Yeah,
now
I know
that's closing on homes, and I feel so bad.
Yeah, it's just everything is so stalled and I want to say backlogged, but it's like the people with the stimulus people. Some people, I thought I didn't read into the article too much, but I swore that it said last week some people still didn't get it. But and there was a point, if you didn't get the right amount, you got to wait till next year. You know, if somebody in your family was missing or whatever from that funding. But you know, it's been a long time for that. But then you see other people who put in for it and get it right away. Same thing with the unemployment. So I have no idea, but it's unfortunate. And then, of course, people are still waiting in that area, but evictions have opened back up.
Jason from Florida said the biggest concern is regression. My son attends, wait a minute, where is it? Attends LAUSD. I wonder what that means. LAUSD. Wonder where that is in Florida.
This is LA. What is LA?
He attends LAUSD, the Distances Learning. He is 11 years old. Jason, remind me what LAUSD is in Florida, because I'm not good with acronyms, certain acronyms. I wonder if it's in Lauderdale, like down south. I don't know. I'm just guessing. LAUSD. Something. D might means disability. I don't know.
I think it's Unified School District, but I don't know because I.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know which one. What city?
Right. Me either. LA. Not Lauderdale. I'm trying to think of all the Florida cities. Jeanette says hello.
Wait, you guys have a lot. You guys don't have a Los Angeles, right?
No.
You guys have a Hollywood, but not a Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, we have a Hollywood.
It comes up as Los Angeles plans on campus school activities in memory of Florida thing. So that's the only thing that I see with Florida. But I knew you guys had a Hollywood. You guys have an Orange County, I think.
Yep.
You guys have things that we have right here.
I live in Orange County.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have like we have Orange County in LA, you know, in LA. So it's like the same thing. But I was like, I don't think they have a Los Angeles. I know you do have a Hollywood though, but yeah.
Yeah, we have a Hollywood. Yeah. It's fun too. Okay. That's near that's like near Fort Lauderdale area.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, it's all in that area.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, it's real south.
Yeah, it's south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
my parents used to live in Tampa.
Oh yeah, Tampa.
Yeah, that's where my parents used to live.
Tampa has some good schools too for our kiddos. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was even thinking about like commuting and letting Brandon go to there because you know from Orlando to Tampa is not but about 60 minutes if you're driving legally the speed limit.
I was just gonna say it's about an hour, huh? You do it in 30 minutes. That's funny.
So, but now because of the I-4, you know, I-4 is terrible. From Orlando to Tampa. Oh my gosh, there's always something going on, and traffic is always backed up. Always.
It's just like our Orange County. It's the same. Oh my goodness, we have some bad traffic in Southern California. I almost want to say Southern California used to be worse than here, but here it's pretty bad now. Yeah. Jill says, how is everyone going to do school if the choices are smaller class sizes, alternating days, or do online class? So if it's alternating days and smaller classes, what do you guys think about that? If you have the option of smaller classes, alternating days, or distance learning, which one would you choose?
I would be in for that. I would like the small, like small classes, like literally like maybe 5 or 4 people, 4 kids,
Yeah.
alternate days, because I know it's space, it's, the space, and, it's small, classroom. So I would consider it.
Yeah. I think, especially with special needs, I think it changes everything because the teacher cannot stay 6 feet apart. I mean, you're sitting there, you're explaining things, you're doing instruction, and some of the things, are more in your face, hands-on type of things in our classes. I think that's vital, though. I filled out a survey that the governor sent out as far as how we felt distance learning was working for our situation. And there's a part where you go into IEP and what your students needing and what they're getting, are they receiving it? And I don't think that I think it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's even maybe 65%, but it's not what she needs, and I'm getting fearful because she's missed part of 9th grade. We're going into 10th grade. How much of 10th grade will be missed? And, these are her last few years of school, so I'm getting, anxious, like, what's going on? Are we, she's missing out, I think with the smaller classes, when there's like, say, I think maybe she has 9 students in her class, it would be neat if they could set aside times of the day to see the teacher, whether it's 2 or 3 times a week, just that one student, because then at least she's getting teacher time.
Right.
Even if it was once a week, but I think that would be good for our students. I think could really use that.
And maybe they can do that when it's smaller and alternate days. Maybe the teacher be able to give the one-on-one with their student.
Yeah. And
because I believe that our kiddos, I mean, I'm not going to say all, but I do think most of our kiddos, they like to go to school. I know
Emily was loving it.
They love, and a lot of us have already experienced this home schooling thing, distance learning, and it ain't working. It ain't working with some of our kiddos, because it's throwing them off their routines, and there are certain things that they do at school that they just don't do at home, and it's just different. And you know how our kiddos, they process differently. So
yeah, exactly.
It has to be like school. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like looking around the living room, like, this isn't school. My teacher's on the screen, I can turn my teacher on and off, just make, and then too, especially when they're different at school and home, and then they literally are merging that because they're at home, and like Emily could see mom and dad right here walking around the house, but she sees her teacher. So who is she supposed to be at that moment when she's one person at school and one person at home? Right. So I see the anxiety piling up with her, and she gets more and more stressed, and she's trying to please the teacher and us. Right. And understand at the same time. And then she'll look over at us for the answer when the teacher's asking her a question. Mom and dad normally aren't at school, Emily. Right. But, it's kind of like everything's, converging together, so. Yeah. Yeah. So it is difficult. I can imagine how difficult it is for them. Yeah. So let me see.
What is she doing? What is Jill going to do? I wonder what Jill's going to do.
Let me see. She says, my grandson starts August 13th. My county is giving a choice. I don't want him in the classroom with people not wearing masks. My grandson has asthma, and so I'm keeping him home to do school. That's good. One of my concerns about that was, so when my second one, when he was younger, he had really bad asthma, and he would cough a lot, and I would always, have to apologize that he's not sick, he has asthma, he's not, contagious, that kind of thing. And then now it's a different thing. What are people going to look at our kids when they're, wheezing or coughing and it's asthma, and we know it's asthma, but what will like now, even with my asthma, I'm afraid to go out in public if I feel like I have like a twinge in my throat or something. I'm gonna have to clear it or cough,
Yeah, because people gonna side eye you.
Yeah, exactly. It's all different. That's a whole different world out there. So so I think that's a good idea. And then too, the last thing you want is something on your face when you have asthma. Something feeling like the throat's already closed up. Yeah. I mean, I can be in my perfect health, and I don't like the mask.
Yeah,
so I mean, I can only
Brandon has
imagine.
asthma too, and he tolerates it when we went to the doctors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he wasn't gonna be all day, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. He says it's hard to breathe and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want
Yeah.
it to trigger the asthma.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Hey, Charles. Charles says hi. Hey, Michelle.
Yep.
Hey, Michelle. Who is this? Somebody said same in Northern Cali.
Oh yeah,
I thought,
the Facebook user.
Somebody said that about the schools. I can't see who it is though. I can't see the name. Yeah, I wonder who
Maybe
that is.
they can post their name for us.
Yeah. So whoever that is, yeah. I can't see your name, sorry, but if you could let me know. I'm here in Northern California too. That's why I asked. And hey, Pam. And Pam is keeping Ralph home. And Jeanette says I-4 is the worst highway.
Jeanette said what?
I-4 is the worst highway.
Yep. Ain't it, Jeanette? Ooh, she know. She know. Okay, Jeanette, she know. Okay. a true Orlandoan or Tampa or in Volusia County, anybody that have to use I-4, they know. They know how I-4 is. That's rough.
Oh my goodness. Why is it so? Why is it like it's a commuting highway? Like there's a major commute between the work, like people may live in Tampa and work in Orlando.
Yeah, I-4 connects from Tampa, St. Pete, Tampa, all the way. It goes all the way to Daytona.
Oh, okay, got. Oh, okay.
It goes like across. So it goes across Tampa, Orlando. You can catch it from Sanford, Deltona, D-Land, all those. You can catch all of that, all in between there. Altamont Springs, all of that, you can get it. But
oh my goodness,
Lakeland, all those you can get on I-4 up until Daytona.
okay.
And from Daytona all the way across to Tampa, it is always something.
Oh my goodness. I thought California highways were bad. Oh my goodness.
Well, they are too.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the way the I-4 sounds, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I-4 is it's in the competition with California and Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know Dallas had it like that too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, them too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Somebody says, I'm from Florida. Yeah, she says, I'm from Florida. It's a mess here. That's Jeanette. Somebody said that would be me. I'm still waiting since March. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Carolyn. And she's in Oregon. I was able to get kindergarten teacher to come out to my home 2 times a week to meet my son's curriculum from school. That's really neat. Paulette said that. And I had wondered about that. I've seen some teachers make it in house calls. And then I wondered when it would get to the point that they would start having students by appointment.
Oh, that's
in class.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I wondered if that would pop up.
Michelle said that the kids there got to wear their mask all day.
Yeah, that's what they said when they come back. They said when they described the school, it would be like they said expected them to have masks on the whole time. Expect that the buses, if you can not use the bus, that's good. But if you need to, understand that there won't be social distancing on the bus because it's impossible. But they were expected to wear their masks all day, and that there would be social distancing no closer than 6 feet. My question was passing in the hallways. How can you maintain 6 feet of space and kids are going up and down the hallways, coughing, rubbing their noses, doing things like this, fidgeting with their mask and everything. How can you maintain, an environment like that? I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I think they needed to just, in my opinion, I although I said in the beginning that I wouldn't mind the alternate days and the fewer class, but I meant like next year sometime, when they kind of figure everything all out real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really feel like that maybe school should have been closed the rest of this year, like just period, and let them figure out everything, get parents input, get the community input, everybody.
And not make, exactly. Not make you feel bad like you're taking away because you're keeping your student at home, because you want, because it's the risk, but it seems like if the schools are open, it seems like you're getting the slack that you don't want your kids to go to school.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was mentioned that the funding would be taken away from the schools for the schools that don't open. They would get their federal funding taken away. But if all the parents are deciding to keep their kids home, it may not be worth opening. If the majority is deciding to stay home, it may not be worth the cost to open. Let me see. We have Orange County and Orlando. Okay, so I'm way back here. DC is getting ready to go back on lockdown. Yeah, I think we were out 1 week and then they closed everything back up. No, I'm sorry. It was longer than 1 week. It was close to a month, I think, that the gym was open. And then when they closed, they initially thought they would close for 3 weeks. But I think I thought it was preemptive for him to say that anyways in the beginning. But I think we'll be closed down for a little bit because the numbers are still going up. Let's see. Anyone who's coming from out of state, especially the high-risk states, have to be quarantined for 2 weeks before going out. I was just getting ready to look that up. I even typed it up and then I got sidetracked. I was going to see that even places that aren't, so like if you go to Hawaii, I don't know if Hawaii is under quarantine. Oh, I think they're under quarantine until September. That if you fly to Hawaii, you still have to do a quarantine for 2 weeks once you get there. And I was wondering that when that quarantine is lifted, if you're from a high-risk state, do you still have to go under quarantine? And what the states were. My brother just relocated to Jacksonville from Michigan. They will keep their boys home from school. That's a good idea. That's Danielle. Hey, Danielle. Michelle says totally online. E-learning all the way is Utica. And it's going to be that one teacher who will come in sick and not say anything that may start the germ. True. And then too, it's not even that, so even if, say, she woke up and she felt the twinge in her throat that day, she or he felt the twinge in their throat that day, they called out, they could have been contagious days before that. Right. So it's not even, only the ones that fill it and come in anyways. Right. It could be, and then what about the ones who are asymptomatic that they say is a little bit over 40% of the people they think are asymptomatic. They're not even showing symptoms. So,
and then wait, nobody ain't even talked about in the schools about testing. Now, our kiddos, oh Lord have mercy.
The only thing I thought, so what I thought with Emily was if Emily came down with symptoms, we came down with symptoms, we could just assume to get ourselves tested and hope that our results reflected Emily's, because I don't know how they're going to get a test done with Emily.
I'm not going to force Brandon to test.
Yeah, it would
kill him. It'll kill him. He'll die just trying to get the test.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just way too much. One time I had strep and my tonsils were almost touching and the test just kept coming back negative. And she's like, no, this is strep. I don't know why it keeps coming back negative. Tonsils got so big. Finally, I had to go in 3 days in a row. I was on several different antibiotics. None of them were working. So I had to go in 3 days in a row for steroid shots and antibiotic shots. Mm-hmm. She said there is some, of course, false results in tests. So she said, it looks this way. We're going to call it this way, regardless of what the test says. Mm-hmm. And there's sometimes that you just have to do that. You may not be able to get the right results. You may not be able to get accurate results, and you may not be able to get the test done. You just have to get to the point that, okay, hopefully they'd be able to say, we understand we can't get a test, but it might look like corona. You know, they have to understand that there's going to be some situations like that, especially with our kids.
Or they get the test. Say our kid do one test, they just cooperate, and then I know in Florida a lot of the test is not good. So now that they got another test. Oh Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's right. Because they said if they get just short of far enough back, it's a flop. It doesn't even count as a test.
That's
because
right.
Unless they get it all the way accurately back, they're not they're throwing the results out. Yeah. And then too, once you test positive, they want to test that you test negative after a certain point of time.
So now you gotta get another test. Oh,
exactly.
That ain't going over on
yeah.
Hills. I can see Emily, Brandon, Ralph, Deacon. I can see all Michelle's baby, DeAndre. No, I'm just imagining. I'm visualizing. Yep. They ain't gonna do it.
Exactly.
Victoria says here they are talking about kids eating in their classrooms and only having recess one class at a time. So no more movie days, field days, and school events. They are even saying that parents will no longer be able to observe or come have breakfast or lunch with their kids. Oh.
Aww.
Oh boy.
Paulette says schools should open until they can find a vaccine they can give before being in a building together, not knowing if I think she means schools shouldn't open until, not knowing. Because too, when you think about it, schools, so in California, schools and childcare are the same way. That used to be you could sign the backside of the immunization form and say, it's against my beliefs, I do not want immunizations for my child. You used to be able to say that, but now in California, you cannot, at least in child cares, and we have the same forms as schools. You cannot opt and do that and still expect your child to go to those places. So, yeah, they just can't go. And it used to be a personal choice, but like say in child care, they said no longer can they opt out from immunizations and think that they're still going to be in a child care setting.
And that meets the ADA requirements there?
Yeah, they cannot go without immunizations and be in a California-run childcare. And this wasn't until, not my last one, but so 2 years ago. 2 years ago, so every year they do an inspection, and everything, and they update you with everything. That was new 2 years ago. And I didn't know that they could do something like that.
I didn't either.
So they'd have to.
Yeah, because I thought you have a choice. There's some people that don't want to do
exactly
vaccination for their children.
Exactly. And that's how the forms used to be written up. It was against my personal decision, against my personal belief. And they just had to sign it. And then, I had them sign it, and then the other side would be completely blank because there were no immunizations. But not anymore. If they want to use a child care that's licensed, you cannot.
So you have to have immunizations if you want to use a child care licensed child care.
Yeah, to me, it seems like kind of like strong arming it. It's going to be this way or not. Yeah. But so if schools are also believing they are because they have the same forms as us, that then you think they would be waiting for a vaccine on this before they let them go back. Not saying I agree one way or another, but yeah, that's what I would think. Cindy says, just got on, first time in a couple months, been rough. Yes, alternating days, even halftime is better than no time. Even just a few hours is better than nothing. My son won't wear a mask wear a mask out. School district sent a message, but going back in September, not sure when they're phasing it. I just want my son to get anything. My son is calming down, but a few weeks ago, he busted a window, cabinets, put holes in walls. He's 6. I'm proud I've been able to calm the anxiety. My son loves school. He won't do online learning. Thank you for making things less lonely. My boy Zachary is nonverbal. 6. First off,
loves school.
Yeah, and thank you, Cindy, for joining us. And Yes,
Yeah.
I think a lot of us can definitely relate with you, and you're definitely not alone. Definitely not alone. And it is hard, especially with him being nonverbal. Being nonverbal means he's more hands-on. And what kind of school is distance learning online when you're a hands-on visual person? You
Yeah.
can see, of course, the screen, but you can't see the class. You can't see other people. You can't see, things. It's just different. And he's limited to what's on the screen and what he can display through the screen. So yeah, I can see how that. And he loves school. So yeah, that's difficult.
It is difficult. The nonverbals, they're very keen in the hands-on, and that's how they learn. I mean, because just because they're nonverbal, they're still geniuses. It's just they can't talk. They just can't
exactly.
But I think they're extra keen, and they have those extra senses to learn hands-on even better. Do you know what I mean? Because
exactly.
So it really is important for them.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a whole different. It's just because to say that all the schools are going distance learning. I think that was to say gen ed, and gen ed is general population, so general, right? Most of our kids aren't in gen ed, and if they are, they have an IEP, or some kind of, modifications. And so when they made the distance learning decision, I think that's what it was representative of. I've seen early on in the distance learning, it was back in March, and it was on the news, and they were saying that it was a dilemma, it was a situation, because while distance learning was meeting the needs of some students, it definitely wasn't meeting the needs of special needs students, because that's not the way they learn. And it was definitely true.
Well, I'll tell you this. Maybe, I don't know, but I just feel like a long time ago when they took out, like, a lot of the recess and remember, I don't know, when I went to school, listen, we had cooking, sewing, gardening, recess, and it helped. That helped. That helped get,
band and music,
all kinds of things. I mean, I used to, I did the home ec. That's what they call home ec class.
I loved home ec.
Me too. And we would like cook things and bake cookies and cakes, and then we had to go home and do our own little recipes, and then have to bring a sample of it, or sewing class. I did sewing class.
I loved sewing. Yeah.
Me too. It was so much fun. And recess, I love recess. I love PE and stuff. I loved it. I love getting out there, running and swinging and playing with your friends and getting all that out and
jump rope.
Yeah. And when they took all that out, that's just with everybody. It just schools change. I just I don't know. All these tests and stuff. I think we should just get back to basics.
That's what I was going to say. I think it has a lot to do with the testing and the testing scores and the time put into preparing for that. Let me see. Beth says, our schools have been closed. They say next month back into class, but I'm lower Michigan, so we will see. My grandson has been back to his ABA center for about 6 weeks. That's good that he's back in ABA. I know I'm blessed. Ralph does better at home because of his anxiety. That is good. You know what? And you got him into it ahead of time too, so that's good. Had he not gotten into it, at least you would have it now. But yeah, I think that's good. Utica says, I work from home, but I'm concerned about homeschooling or e-learning because I have to work. It was hard in the beginning, but I would rather struggle with that than not keep my child safe. Yeah,
I can relate to her on that one, because like when in the beginning, when I was working from home and dealing with Brandon, it's like they don't understand that when you are working, you're there. So they want to play, they want to talk to you, they want to, Mom, can I have Kool-Aid? Can I get some, whatever? They just want to whatever. And you have to work. You know, you have to work, and then you kind of, you don't want to feel like you're ignoring them. And it was hard for me. That's really good with that. So that was.
That's how I've been. So like Emily would leave. She would wake up before 6, and she would leave out on the bus about 6:40. About 6:40, and she'd be home maybe 3:30. So, and we work at home. We'd work, most of that day without her. And then now instantly, she's home. Not only she, it's her, but since it's daycare, the daycare kids are home, So even the school daycare kids are home. So everybody's home all of a sudden. And it is different because then we're trying to keep Emily occupied and, do her schooling and do things like that. Whereas we didn't have this, she would go to school, and unless it was if it was a bad day, of course I'd, be available to pick her up. But now it's totally different. I'm thinking, is she being, occupied enough? Is she doing enough things? Is she moving enough? So it's definitely different.
They don't understand. They don't understand, like, when you have to, you have to do your work, with the other students or the other kids, and you know what I mean? So they don't understand that you're not ignoring them and giving them, but they don't understand. They're like, your mom, you're supposed to be like paying attention to me all the time.
Exactly. As soon as I say something. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, I actually had to have some, I had some days, so that was good. Some days, without work. But, that's not going to be normal. And I don't know when normal is going to happen again, And it's not like we can even, and Emily likes to see everything on a calendar. So, but it was funny, since we read her that social story that the teacher gave us back in March, she has not one time asked for school again. Not one time. She used to ask every single night, school tomorrow. And we were scared when the weekend got here because we were like, no school for 2 days, But she has not mentioned school not one more time.
That's great. That's great that the teacher did that social story for her.
Yeah, it definitely helped. Danielle says, my children miss being social. What we have to do is realize that the last trimester was sudden change. My concern is safety over everything. Yes, it was, and it was sudden. And yes, of course, safety is, our main concern. If we have to struggle with, the anxieties and the change that they're going through and things like this, it's still better than dealing with ill health. Of course, we would definitely be going through this, and we're doing it for a reason.
Cindy said, sorry, everybody. I vented a lot. I'm just worried. No, girl, don't apologize. We all.
That's what this is for.
We're all in this together. We're trying to figure all this out together. So you're helping everybody by asking your questions. Exactly.
And you just let, I don't know how many other people know that you're going through the same thing we're going through and that we're not alone. So, that's what this is for. And you might have a kid. Yeah, a kid can be a carrier as well. And that's the thing too, that even though the teachers are there too, the teachers are putting themselves on the line, with the kids coming through. I don't know how many times, and I'm not saying parents or us or, anyone specific, but with childcare, I don't know how many times there's been kids who came to daycare and, they're coughing or they don't feel well. And I'm like, oh, did you tell your mom? Yeah, my mom said don't say anything. Or my mom said she has to go to work anyways, So, it's the same thing with school too. So.
They may not be like us, because the minute my son is itching, I'm keeping him home.
Exactly.
But there are some parents that send their kids knowing they sick and stuff.
Yes, exactly. And I'll say this too. I've been doing this for 22 years now. So I'm not saying that it's any of my recent parents. So if anybody sees this, I'm not saying anybody specific. But after 22 years, you see a lot of things in time.
Linda, the kid will actually say, my mom said, don't say nothing.
Yeah. Or so like, did you so wait, this is the first time you threw up? No, I threw up at home. I said, well, why didn't you stay home? Why didn't you say, you know, you were sick? I did, but they said they have to go to work anyways and just go. Don't say anything. But yeah, it's so, you know, sometimes too, kids will talk, and when they start talking, I can tell, you know, the conversation is house business. You know, it's nothing harmful, but it's house. And then like, okay, well, let's go, you know, you just kind of, you know, but kids, yeah, kids will, yeah, they don't hold back.
No, they don't. They tell the truth. They tell it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let me see. Jeanette says it's like I-95, but worse.
Mm-hmm.
The Autobahn that runs past the sausage factory is the worst highway. Charles always has a joke. DC, Maryland, and Virginia all are not opening this year. Really? I didn't know that.
What happened?
She said DC. Paulette says DC, Maryland, and Virginia all are not opening this year.
Really?
Yeah, there was something I just heard about Virginia too.
With them, that's what we need to do. Florida needs to follow their suit.
Right. Always an accident. We have a choice. Most of the parents are keeping our kids home, no school, and that's Oregon. Christy says, does anyone have a problem with their child or children with autism wearing the mask? I have to make Taisha wear hers. Yeah, Emily's really good with it, but we haven't really taken Emily anywhere. There was we took her to the beach, and when you go through the what's that called, the where you pay for the parking, you go through the little the booth thing or whatever, everyone in the car has to have a mask on. So she wore it like that, and then I did a Michael's pickup. She had to wear a mask, but other than that, we haven't really taken her anywhere to have to wear it. But those short times, she will wear it. So, and she'll demand it too. So one day she lost her mask. She had the biggest meltdown. It was at home too, and she lost it, and she had the biggest meltdown. She loves the mask.
She do. She's so cute.
But I made her mask. Like I let her pick the fabric, and I sewed it for her. So I think she feels like this is mine, you know, like
that's her mask. What did she have? A cartoon character or
no? It was just a floral print that she picked. I had some fabric, and I let her choose which one, and she touched it.
So that's hers. Yeah. That's her mask.
Yeah, exactly. And since we lost it, I had to go make another one. And then, of course, when I get done making it, we found the other one. So she needs more anyway.
That might be a good idea too, Linda, for us parents to maybe make our kiddos masks and let them pick out their fabric. Maybe they'll feel safer. Because those regular ones, like them blue or whatever.
The basic ones,
those kind of look scary,
Yeah. I mean, because it might remind them of the doctor, right? Of the hospital. But that could be a thing. Is and then too, they said there's really good patterns with T-shirts. Maybe, if your child outgrew a T-shirt, or your loved one outgrew a certain shirt that they liked, maybe make a mask out of that. Maybe they might be more willing. Paulette says to make a child wear a mask all day is like neglect. It is difficult. I think it's just, I think it's almost, it's something you can say it, but to say that it's going to happen, I doubt it. I asked the same question, how you keep children 6 feet, from walking down the hall. And then too, like they said, they're starting to realize it's more airborne than they thought, depending on how big the droplets are when somebody sneezes, coughs, is depending on how long it stays in the air. So when it's the minute particles that are, expelled, it stays in the air longer. So if somebody does that in the hallway and they're walking by and the next person walks right into it, I mean, there you go.
Well, my thing is, now this is my thought, okay? They should have thought like this. I'm not even a doctor, okay? But way back when we first found out about this, I thought it was like real contagious. I was like, you know what? They was only saying there were certain little symptoms that you can. I was like thinking, I didn't care if it was, you could. At that time, it wasn't nothing with the stomach. Now they added like if you have stomach symptoms. But back then, I was like any kind of symptom. It could have been. You know what I mean? I think they should have treated it like a full force contagion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they should, because nobody has ever had this before now. Nobody's body can read it and say, oh, okay, you know what, we fought it off. Everybody, whether they asymptomatic or whatever symptoms they do end up getting, they will, when they come across it and it's put into them, they will develop it, because nobody can fight it off. It's never been here before. And the symptoms are so great. They're from nothing to, oh my goodness, there were some symptoms that you wouldn't even think was from this, but it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's they even said the lingering effects. People are sick, like people are getting they're getting diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome after the fact, months after. And they said that, and that's one of their neurological things that happen. But
there's gonna be more to come.
Yeah, exactly. They're rushing in too fast, is my opinion, says Jeanette. I agree. Just keep babies home. They have some school experts on Facebook that will help parent with strategies for the children. That's good. And that's definitely something that DC mayor just passed that law.
What law?
I forgot. I can't even remember what the law was that we were talking about, Paulette. Let me see. South Carolina, we have a choice. We're supposed to be going through phases. The first phase is e-school. Second phase is e-school, alternate days. I forget what the third phase is, but the last phase is fully opened e-learning. We also have an option for virtual school. You can opt to do e-learning all school year.
Oh, okay.
And I heard that they're a hot spot right now too, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, my brother lives there. My brother, I haven't seen my brother,
but for the longest, South Carolina was pretty low on the.
Yeah, it was. It really was. I haven't seen my brother for a year now. So my brother's in South Carolina. He, about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, he was sent home from work. He's a painter. He paints, houses, apartments, things like that. He was sent home from work, and because he had got chills, fever, his teeth were chattering, he had a cold sweat, and he had a headache really bad, no cough, no sore throat, but he lost his taste and smell.
Oh.
And they said, you got to go home at least for 2 weeks. But he was good. Everything went away after about 3 hours, but his smell and taste are still gone.
Really?
But, yeah, I said, well, that's, one of the, but he never got a cough or sore throat, but he also didn't go get tested. But to me, that seems like that was probably, he probably had it. It's just, everybody has it differently.
Right? Because they say some people walk around here and they have like you said, like maybe a fever and lost their sense, their taste and everything, but they never had the cough and all the other stuff,
Yeah, exactly. There was a nurse that she lost only her sense of taste and smell, and she had corona, and she tested positive and everything, but that was the only symptom she had. Yeah. She had no other symptoms. So yeah, I said, and he's never had something where he just lost his taste and smell, smell and taste, all of a sudden.
Taste the smell, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's in South Carolina, and I thought he was good because, I hadn't heard too many cases there, but yeah.
I have a best friend in South Carolina. She lives in Columbia, South Carolina, and she was still working and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Shut down, you know?
Yeah, they opened. They were, even when they had shut down briefly, they opened really quickly after that. They were some of the first people that reopened back up. He's in Charleston, but they opened up really quick. At first, my son wouldn't wear a mask, but we practiced for 5 minutes and worked time up and give him a lot of praise, and no problem.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's
what they. I was reading an article about that, and it was a face mask pattern, or it was talking about different face masks and which ones are the best when you're making them or buying them. and it was talking about how to get used to a face mask. And we weren't even talking about autism. And it was talking about start in small increments of time at home. Just wear it for 5 minutes at home. And this was, like I'm saying, it was not for anyone on the spectrum. I was thinking, I need to start doing this because I get halfway into the store and I'm already complaining about my mask.
Me too, Linda. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I feel for you. You must be frustrated and don't have those issues here in New Zealand. We went into lockdown for March, about a month. Yeah, I heard New Zealand was one of the least affected places as far as how well they managed it, because of how well they managed it.
Is it because they stayed in lockdown?
They went into lockdown, but I think that they just did everything very timely and organized and controlled everything. But I remember seeing them on the news. Yeah. DC passed a law that a lot of out-of-towners have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. Oh, okay, got it. I know New York had did that for a point. They weren't letting people in from every state. If you went to New York, it depended on the state you came from.
Florida was too during that time with New York. We weren't letting people in during that time when New York was doing it. We weren't letting people come in from the hotspot states.
Yeah. See, yeah, that's exactly how. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Emily getting tested. Oh my goodness, that's what Steve said. Okay, so her son just got tested before surgery and he was negative. My son got tested because he had dental procedure. He did it, but he was stunned afterwards. He just sat there stunned for 5 minutes. I felt so bad for him. How old is he? Yusuke? Yeah. I hope I'm saying your name right.
How old is she said he was stunned. I'm visualizing him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm wondering how old he is too. My girlfriend just said she had to get the test done twice because she went in to Sun before surgery. She said they put that swab way up her nose to the back of her head. Yeah. Yeah, they say that it goes through your nose and it goes to the back wall of your throat. Like if you were to go down a little bit more, it would be your throat, because that's where the virus starts to, I guess I want to say grow, but it's not like bacterial, but it starts to, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I probably just go ahead and just like have labor pains or something. I don't like nothing going in my nose. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Let me see. Taisha says not go. Yeah, I seen this one thing. So, okay, I'm not even playing. Okay, so I hurt my finger maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and I had to go get a tetanus shot in the ER, right? Mm-hmm. So I go to the ER and they put me into a triage room, right? And then they have another side where if you have suspected flu symptoms, you go to another part where it's all plasticed off and it's secure, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I'm waiting in the triage room, and they showed a test of, so inside this locked cabinet, that's a glass cabinet, there's a picture posted in there, like a regular paper size, and it's taped in there, and it's a picture of the Q-tip, the testing long Q-tip that they put into your nose, and it's a picture of a drawn person, and you can see their tongue, their throat, their nasal passage, and it shows where the thing goes, right? Somebody wrote on there, when it went to the back wall right here to your throat, and it showed that part, they drew a line like this, and then they said brainstem. And I was like, what? But it was handwritten, right? So I was like, well, who wrote that? And it was a little bit messy. Like, it didn't look like it was supposed to be meant to be professional or anything. But the person who wrote that in the ER triage room had to work there because the cabinet was locked. Uh-huh. And I know other people seen that on there. But I was like, that's not even funny, because if you really had to get that test done at that moment, all you see right there is that they're going to test my brain. But I don't know who wrote it.
The person that wrote it, were they like trying to discourage people?
They had to be trying to scare someone, because who would? And it was in the locked glass, and it was I have no idea why or who did that. I was
okay. It would have worked for me.
Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking, oh my God. And I was going to ask, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to ask. I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, I, but because everything else was labeled professionally, it was like a printout kind of thing, but somebody hand wrote that on there.
Somebody that worked there, they were like,
Yeah.
no, like, see, hey, go.
They probably had the test done. They was like, it's not the back of your throat, it's your brainstem. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that I should have took a picture of it too. I'm surprised I didn't. Let me see. There is a hidden thing that gives the right for their child not to be vaccinated in school, and the child is in the schools. Yeah, my thing is that if you've had that already and you've been in the schools, when does it change?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I didn't understand. Like, so if you're already in the schools, I just know in childcare that there was a paper that I'm even supposed to give to them and say you can fix it or you have to no longer be enrolled in daycare.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Can you decline the test? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like flu shot. Like, I don't take flu shots. Okay. I
haven't either.
And actually, I'm allergic to flu shots. Okay. So if I
take
it, I could be like paralyzed. I can but and I know other people that take, it's detrimental for me. So, but I do know other people that don't take the flu shot just because of choice. So
I don't.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
So my thing is, do you have to, take the test? I wonder if you have.
Yeah, I wonder.
Is it law that you have to take this COVID-19 test?
I guess it would depend. Like I have right now, I have a situation where there's somebody who works at Amazon, and they have to be quarantined for 14 days. But I don't recall that they said they had to do the test, but they did have to be quarantined for 14 days because of exposure. But yeah, I'm not sure. I would think that maybe the workplace could probably force you to come back with verification that you tested negative. As far as our kids, I'm not sure. I would say that I would think we would have a choice because they're not going someplace like that.
Right.
So Victoria says,
in my job, they're getting ready to enforce us to take the test.
I wondered about that. And so Victoria asked, just the basic vaccines, or does that include flu vaccines? I'm thinking it's just basic, Victoria, because I have to do the same things. I have to, I had to prove that I was measles immune. So that means either I had the measles shot or I had measles before. So I had to bring in verification for that. They had to check to make sure I had the antibodies. I had to bring in verification to submit it to the state. But then the other thing was I got to waive the vaccine for flu shots. But as far as like the kids, I think they can waive the flu shot, but not other shots.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my parents, we always could waive the flu shots with me, but I know for a fact that I took measles, the mumps, the all RNA or whatever that is, all different shots.
Yeah.
But that's when I was young, though. When I was young, I don't know how it is really now. Days. I don't know if they can. Do they still have to take those, or people still have to take all those shots?
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like I remember there was a point when they had polio drops. Remember they used to have the drops versus the immunization. What was that?
Mm-hmm. I took that too.
Yeah, see, they used to have the drops. So my oldest daughter had those. Then they went back and forth, and then they said that the drops could be contagious to some people. If your child had the drops and they were around somebody who's going under cancer treatment or had, say, an immune deficiency disease, then they could get polio from that kid, from the child who had the drops. And I didn't like that it was that active, so I opted for the vaccine. And then one time when it was one of her shots one of the times, He actually argued with me and said, no, no, people exaggerate it, news stories exaggerate things and
Mhm.
whatever, but they kind of do make you feel like you don't have a choice sometimes. But we do have a choice. But I do remember they went back and forth with that, and then all of a sudden they didn't have the polio drops anymore. They went back to the vaccine, which made me wonder, like, but it was, why change if it's good, right?
Mhm.
My
You think,
son's therapist. Oh, go ahead.
you guys think, and this is for all of us, everybody. I mean, and maybe I'm going way out there because I do think I'm crazy sometimes, but I'm kind of nervous too. Do you think that they may, some of these some people that's getting these COVID tests, are they like injecting the COVID like in them to see if
Oh,
they get antibodies? I don't know. I'm listen. I'm not no
mhm,
doctor or nothing, but I'm just thinking, like, I do know, like with the flu shot, that's actually the flu. They're giving you
mhm.
flu, right?
Yes. I did see. I seen the new immunizations that they've been testing and that are coming really close to the vaccines that are coming out for COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the symptoms of the shots were COVID symptoms. Just like flu shot symptoms are most often, the same symptoms as the flu. Yeah, and some people have some symptoms, some people have all those symptoms, some people didn't have any of the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But it is always a live virus because your body gets so much, it's supposed to be such a minute amount, but it trains your body on how to build up the antibodies against it. But it is a live virus that you're getting when you get a vaccine. But it doesn't surprise me that the symptoms are the same as having it.
Mm.
Let me see. So Paulette says my son's therapist, my son therapist, screen visual. I don't get that. Assignments on the screen where he can take his finger and write, color, tap the choice of the correct answer. He loves it. It allows him to be more involved in participating. For autism, this is great. That is really good. You're welcome, Cindy. My kids say they want to go to school. Mom says no because they're going to shut it down again. Exactly. Yes, earlier in March, distance learning was horrible for the special needs population. Yes, I think because they really had to get a hang of it first too. It is better. Yes, we had all of that in school. Yes, we had so many things in school. I loved home ec. There's so many things I learned in home ec right now that I live, day to day with. Yeah.
That and home ec would be great for our kiddos.
It would, yeah. And then
That
I was
would be
thinking,
awesome for our kiddos.
when you were saying that, I was thinking to do those things nowadays, you have to be in a life skills program.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. But, it would be good if you didn't have to go to a life skills program to get those things. But that's really in the program that it is. Here in Arkansas, they want parents to sign a waiver that if your child gets COVID-19, you can sue them for it all. Wait, you can't sue them for it at all. And if the child gets COVID, oh my goodness, and you're sending kids back and they want you to sign that?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh,
They're already trying to cover themselves.
ooh.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought that the mandation to have to wear a mask all day is almost put in place as a mandation, but we told your kids they're supposed to wear it all day. Now, if they do it or not, feels like because they wrote it into the rules and the policies that if they don't, they're not at fault, the schools. But that's not the same thing. The same thing as saying your child has to wear a mask, and if he or she doesn't, they will be sent home and they will not be able to come back until they're ready to wear it all day is two different things than, saying it and then being lenient with it. I mean, I learned to make my own pair of pants in home ec. Yeah, oh my goodness, I loved home ec.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it's just
I made some outfits too at home.
because really you just learn how to sew, right? And once you learn how to sew, you learn that you sew inside out, and then you flip it out. Once you learn that logic, then you can really do, basically anything after that. it was, and then cooking. Oh my goodness, baking.
Yes.
None of that's going to happen now. So everyone, I've been in a lot. I'm just worried. Definitely don't worry. I worry because teachers already did not have enough time to teach everything because of the state standards. Now they'll lose more time, sanitize exactly, and washing and etc. I know I'm fortunate that I stay home. Yes, I think that for us that were already home or us that can stay home during this time, it's a very good thing.
Michelle called those waivers a death waiver.
Right? I know. That's crazy. I still can't believe that. That's crazy.
And Dallo says Chicago is doing the same thing Arkansas doing, making them sign them waivers.
That's my goodness.
Like Michelle said, death waivers.
Yeah, exactly. That's as scary as when you sign up with a say like, so my HMO, when you sign up and you do all the paperwork, you agree that you cannot sue the hospital, the doctor. You cannot sue any of them. You know, there's no lawsuit for malpractice. And then you think, why? You know, what makes you talk about that? You know, what makes you say this? You know, yeah, but yeah, so that's just scary. You know, as soon as the school district would have said that to me, okay, never mind. You know what? Forget it. It would have been enough. Like, okay, you know what? Turn around. I'm glad my daughter is grown up.
If they're saying that, it must be some doubt somewhere.
Exactly. It must be that they expect that it's going to happen, and then this is what their reaction is going to be.
Right.
Yeah, that they're going to contract it and they're going to react. I'm glad my daughter is grown and that my grandchildren are also grown up. It's one thing I don't have to worry about. That is good, Charles. I'm glad too. Honestly, we don't know. Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. When they said they seen people, they were describing it and they were saying these symptoms that the people were having. And I was listening to Steve saying it to me. And I was like, that sounds like fibromyalgia. And then I was listening and they said people are now getting diagnosed with CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. And I was like, that's why it sounds like fibromyalgia. Because, you know, people with fibromyalgia suffer from chronic fatigue. It's like an umbrella type thing. But to think that you got a virus and now you have a permanent disorder like that is really disheartening. I mean, it really goes to show nobody knows the true extent that this can mean for some people, you know, as far as getting COVID and how long it will last and, you know, that effect. Mm-hmm. And it's just definitely not been around long enough to know everything about it. Yes, indeed. Here in Arkansas, it's crazy. They said that they don't have to wear masks. No mask in these schools. And that's the same place that they want them to sign the waiver.
The death waiver.
Yeah, no wonder. Oh, my goodness.
And then remember in the beginning, they were saying that it didn't affect the babies and the children and all that. It was just the old people. Girl, we just had, about a week ago, we just had our first 9-year-old died of the COVID.
Oh, my goodness.
In the state of Florida.
Oh, my goodness. There was that one family in, it was a mom and dad. They were both first responders in Michigan. And I believe their daughter was 6 years old and they lost the daughter that came down with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the other thing was, remember they were saying that kids, you know, they're you know, they're not responding the same to it. If they even get it at all, you know, they're not showing symptoms, you know, that kind of thing. But remember, there was a period of time when they found out that it reacted different in children and they were getting those big rashes and they were swelling up and it actually was affecting them and bad. Mm-hmm. It's just been like a roller coaster, and it's just like as time goes on, it's manifesting itself so many different ways.
So that's why I said they should have said it from the beginning. Listen, it could affect everybody. Just wear your mask or whatever, mm-hmm. Quarantine, do what you mm-hmm. gotta do to be safe or whatever. But mm-hmm. they shouldn't have said, only the older people get it, because then, some of our millennials and our college mm-hmm. kids and stuff, they were like, oh, I'm free, I'm safe, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And then some of us parents that have younger kids and babies and stuff, we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe, you know what I mean? Because you're trusting them. But now their body, it don't care how old you are, what you are, whatever. It don't matter.
And it's hit and miss. It's like, some of the healthiest people have died. It's hit and miss and how this person will get it and how that person will get it. It's just, you never know. Like that one lady, the one girl that she was a college student and she was going to the COVID parties, and her last words was, "I was wrong. I thought it was a hoax," and she died. But she was at a party not too long before that, thinking, oh, I'm doing this and this. And I'm sure she didn't even expect that if she did get it, that she'd be one of the ones that died.
No. So.
But yeah, it's just, nobody knows how. There's a friend of ours that we haven't seen for a few years. He came down with it. And he has some of the high risk factors, pre-existing risk factors. And he's not doing so bad. He's got a cough, that's it. But he came down with it. But the thing is, you would think that if you followed everything you heard, you would think that he'd be doing very, very bad. But that goes to say the same thing. You don't know how it's going to affect each person. Just don't.
You don't.
My anxiety is skyrocketing right now. I'm sorry, Pam.
Oh, Pam, we're sorry.
Yeah. Anxiety is the worst too.
Yeah, because you can make yourself have all the symptoms with anxiety. I'm coughing.
Yeah, anxiety is like the worst because anxiety takes over your whole being. I mean, with whatever you're thinking about, your brain can magnify it just more. I mean, it's just horrible.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I have anxiety bad. I have bad episodes of anxiety.
And yeah, and I almost want to say like depression might be a little bit easier for me to handle. Only because you get the fight and flight response with anxiety, and you get, where you just feel like you can't do anything to change anything, and your brain just keeps working against you.
Right.
So anxiety is hard. Depression is hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but
you're right though, Linda. Depression is hard too, but anxiety is like it never ends or something.
Yeah, I mean,
depression, you can maybe kind of go lay down and go kind of relax and calm down. You know what I mean? Kind of soothe yourself. Anxiety.
No, you cannot stay in one spot. Half the time you can't lay there because the more too you try to calm yourself down and quieter it gets, the worse the anxiety will get because you're thinking. So definitely, I'm sure a lot of us having anxiety issues. And yeah, it's hard. Definitely, Pam. I can relate, and I'm sorry you're having such a tough time. Know that we're here, though.
Yes,
for sure, Pam. My 5-year-old was hospitalized at Children's in February for a whole week with a high fever, 104 every day for a week. They said that he had Kawasaki, but all testing, blood work, EC did not show Kawasaki. This hospitalized him, and they said they will treat him like it was Kawasaki. I believe he had COVID, the infection disease team said in his room. What was that? What'd you say, Lorienda?
No, I figured it out. I was saying what was.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what Kawasaki is, but I don't know if she's also the one that might have posted this on the page. There was a kid, and they were talking about Kawasaki, and I looked it up then, but it doesn't ring a bell with me as far as like the symptoms. But I remember seeing it on the page.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up when I seen the post, and I remember thinking there was 2 things I seen in our group that I thought this is COVID, and there were posts, and I thought the same thing.
What is it? What is it again? because I looked it up too at the time when the person, the mom posted it. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, and I prayed for them and everything, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah, she said that was her who posted it too. Constantly drawn blood, has dad get sick, he was released a week later, children with COVID. The infection director says they are now calling it Kawasaki. Kawasaki is very rare.
Yeah, I know that. Michael, I know it's rare.
Yeah, I remember that part too.
But it mimics something. I'm trying to think what it mimics. It mimics something, because I even kind of thought, oh man, does my Brandon got it? I didn't know. You know what I mean? It made me think.
So it's early stages include rash fever. Symptoms include high fever, peeling skin, inflammation, medium-sized blood vessels. It says affects the lymph node, skin, and mucous membranes inside the mouth.
Yeah.
Was this the one? This might have been the one too. Kawasaki. Wait, Kawasaki disease isn't the other thing. I'm not sure if she posted pictures, but if this is the same one, but there was, like I said, there was a few. Somebody might have been saying that it looked like hand, foot, and mouth. If this is the same one
too, yeah,
because the sores in the mouth too, and then the peeling of the skin. Normally, it's on the palms of your hands, the feet, bottom of the feet, and then in your mouth.
You say, is it hand, foot, mouth?
Yeah, and it looks like scarlet fever. And there's a thing also. There was another one too, because remember, there was one where the cheeks were red, and it looked like. People were calling it as fist disease or slap cheek. They call it both in daycare when you do your infectious disease class. But it literally looks like somebody slapped your cheek and it's red, so they call it slap cheek. But it has a high fever and it's really
104. That's not good. 104 fever. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Jesus, I'm sorry, but that's just poor baby.
And I wonder if Kawasaki disease is a virus. I know the other two that I just mentioned were viruses.
Is it a virus?
Maybe it's an. I can't. Well, your lymph nodes can swell up during that too. But
Michelle said it's like cancer.
Okay. See, now I thought Michelle was talking about anxiety right here, but maybe she's talking about that.
Oh, maybe she is talking about anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I didn't pick that up yet.
Michelle, let us know if you're talking about anxiety or the Kawasaki. Yeah, Paulette said that was her talking about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, Nita.
You're supposed to be asleep.
You sure are. You're supposed to be taking some time away. You guys, Nita went, so Nita's gone back to work recently, and she worked this weekend. So lovely Lorienda joined in, filled in for Nita.
Yeah.
So
well needed rest, because she needed. And Linda, if you ever need it too, I'll be right there for you too.
Thank you.
I know the rest of us moderators as well.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are awesome. Paulette says Kawasaki disease isn't a virus. Yeah, that's why I wondered why it was called disease. I know the other two, fifth disease. Actually, fifth disease. I think it's fifth disease. I'm pretty sure this was called slap cheek. And what was the other one I said? Hand, foot, and mouth. COVID is like cancer. COVID is, like they said, they're starting to realize, so much time has to go by before they see the permanent effects. I was knocked out going back in just a few. You guys can't stay away from her group. Always working. So I'm glad. I take it he's better now, right, Paulette?
Yeah, I hope so. And how long does it last, Paulette? Like, how long does the flare or the it last?
And she said it affects the heart. Yeah. Is it lasting effects?
Yeah, and like, is it like 2 weeks time, or is it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the flare goes down, and then but it still affects you for the rest of your life on other organs. I mean, I'm interested now. I'm gonna have to read up
Mm-hmm.
on it now.
Yeah. And it says they don't believe it to be contagious, but they're not sure. Um, it, oh, okay. So it's linked to, there's a number of theories. It's linked to disease from bacteria, viruses, or environmental factors. So it's not even, so like there's certain pneumonias that are viral and then certain pneumonias that are infectious, uh, like bacterial. So this seems to be one of those. Like I just found out that you can have a viral ear infection, so you don't get antibiotics because it's viral. You just have to wait it out. But of course, a bacterial ear infection needs antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, her skin went through a lot afterwards.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, how is she doing now, Paulette? Yeah, this is hard. Um, if anybody wants to join us, oh, it's on that, but I'll put the link right here.
Why when you're having fun, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
This was great.
Okay.
This was a great,
Mm-hmm.
very informative
Oh,
LTA today.
yes, it was. There was a lot of information.
A lot of good questions and information. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it says he. Sorry about that, Paulette. His skin went through a lot afterwards. How is he doing? Sorry. He all the tests did not point to Kawasaki. I'm telling you. I would think so. Because if you guys seen the news, now I'm not saying that he did for sure, and I'm not saying that I think so. I just know that when kids were getting it and they were getting that other manifestation of symptoms, it was their skin. Their skin had those red blotches, and they were like puffy, and they definitely it was different than how the adults were doing it. But what she said, I remember there was a picture that I seen, and I thought I seen the picture first on Facebook. Then I started to see on the news how kids were reacting, and then I went back and found it and showed Steve. I said, "This kid looks like they have COVID," but I said, "But they weren't diagnosed with it."
Well, that's what Paul.
Hey,
That's what Paul
Charles.
was saying. Hey, Charles.
Hi, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Linda and
Hey,
Lorienda and everyone else.
How you
hey,
doing?
I liked your Audubon
Yeah,
joke.
Yeah.
well,
The worst
I,
virus.
I have to make light of things when, I mean, this is a tough time for everybody. You
You
know,
let it
when
make everybody smile.
people are tired and having no children. Sydney's granddaughters in school, but other than that, we don't have any children in school. So, but appreciating what, even with us, we have to be careful about
Mm-hmm.
going out, about having our masks on. And it's not an ironclad protection, but it's a pretty good protection.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's just, we do our best.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Do your best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And and it's kind of, so now here in California, a lot of stores are mandating it that if you shop there, you need to have a mask. And I look at it this way, that they used to say it's not to protect yourself, it's to protect others from you, vice versa, people, I think vice versa, it would help, because if somebody else isn't wearing it, then I feel like, okay, I'm a little bit more protected, right? So I felt like it was vice versa as well. But what I think that is, if So like Sam's Club, for example, you go to Sam's Club, it's mandated. They even have a box out in front. Like if you didn't have one where you show your card, you go ahead and you get a face mask. Now, the thing is that what you expel through a face mask is going to be less, it's going to be a less amount. Then what the next person who walks by and breathes in through their face mask is also going to be filtered. So even though neither situation is 100%, it's both cut down greatly because you both had masks on. So I think it works both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You listen to sensible advice and at least, that gives you a good measure of protection, even though nothing is 100% guaranteed. Hi, Paulette.
Hi, Paulette.
How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
So you say he's doing better? He's doing much better?
Oh my God. When I say he went through so much, and when he was fighting for his life in that hospital for like a whole week, he was fighting. He was spitting up blood. I had to keep hitting the thing on the wall, and everybody came flying from everywhere. They had to keep doing that, and they put him on bear, and he didn't need to be on the bear because the archaeology they did on his heart from the beginning with didn't show Kawasaki, and the blood work didn't show Kawasaki. But they wanted to treat it because he had bloodshot red eyes. That's the number one sign for Kawasaki. Bloodshot, that's the number one sign for Kawasaki.
Okay.
But I believe his eyes were bloodshot red because he ran a fever for so high. I took him to the hospital for a whole week, for 5 times in 1 week, with children going back and forth, back and forth. I said, something is wrong. They said his pee-wee hole was closing. I said, well, how did that happen? They sent us to neurologist. That was on the weekend. So Tuesday, we went to neurologist. She said, oh, he's constipated. So she put him on a magnesium. So Wednesday came, I gave him magnesium Tuesday, and waited Wednesday, he didn't poop. So we went back to the hospital on Thursday, and we waited. While we was waiting, we went to the back. By the time we got to the back, he pooped. I said, okay, we gone then. So the next day was Friday. He began to run the fever. So at this time, because when I first took him the first time, he had skin peel between his groin. And the doctor at the hospital told me, just put Vaseline on. This was the very first visit. And she said his pee-wee hole was closing. And I said, well, what about the skin? She said, just put Vaseline. She never looked at his whole body. So by the time Friday came, when I took him back to 1, 2, 3, the fourth time, I said, you run the fever. I said, take your clothes off. I took all his clothes off. His body was peeled all on his buttocks, all up his back, all everywhere, was all over his whole body. So I took him back to children. I said, this boy has scarlet. And they said, well, why do you think that? So I told them. And then she said, well, I check him now, he have a fever. I said, you think he don't, but his inner body is burning because that's what scarlet does. It burns in the body. That's why your skin peels. Say hi, Cody.
Hi, beautiful.
Yeah. Hi, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister had scarlet fever when she was little. 6 years old. She had it. The doctor gave her penicillin, and she recovered from it and everything. But
when I took him back and I said he has scarlet, the doctors looked at him. They agreed. They said, "You're right, Mom. He does have scarlet." So they put him on antibiotics, and then they gave him antibiotics before we left the hospital, and we got it filled. So all weekend I gave him antibiotics, but his fever began to rise. And I said, why is it rising? He's on antibiotics. So when came Monday, by the time Sunday, he had light pink eyes. And I said, you got the pink eye or something? Then came Monday, his eyes was like really red. So I told Dad, I said, look, you got to go take him down to children. I said, I'm going here to work, and I'm going to come on my lunch hour and meet you guys. So when I did, they finally came in. They said, we believe he has Kawasaki. I said, well, what the hell is that? And they said it was very rare. And they're going to run these tests, the blood work and all that. So when all of it came back, negative. The archaeology, they put all this stuff all over his chest, everything. They did everything. So they said, well, we're going to admit him in because he had the bloodshot eyes. The bloodshot red eyes are the number one sign for Kawasaki, that right there. Not about the skin and all that. It's them red eyes. He had bloodshot, both of them. So they said, we're going to admit him in because we're going to treat it like Kawasaki. So we're going to better be safe than sorry. That's why they put him in. But that whole week he ran a fever of 104. They could not give him nothing but Tylenol. They couldn't give him no Motrin or any of that. So they began to put him on the bear. Even though the heart thing didn't show anything, they wanted to be careful in case the heart started getting effect afterward. So because they gave him the bear, that's where the blood came back. He was throwing up so much blood. I mean, just God, through his nose, through his mouth. It was crazy.
Paulette, why they didn't just keep him in the hospital when you first took him in and just kept him there the whole week?
They didn't.
I took the fevers and the blood.
I took him about 4 times before the 5th time was out there. He was on an antibiotic for, like I said, the weekend, and the fever was rising. And I'm like, this is not supposed to happen. He's on antibiotic. So then that's when he then went there.
Poor baby.
Yeah, they kept him, and he went through that. He was fighting for it. Like, he was like, I felt so bad. But he's a fighter, and he was fighting that the whole thing. Then they started giving him the pumps, the Buterol. Because his breathing, you know, saying that's what I'm saying. That's like COVID.
So he did have breathing problems, yeah.
So they started giving him Buterol throughout the week. They coming in twice, 2 or 3 times a day, and was giving him a Buterol for the lungs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They coming in all strapped up, and I'm like, hey, y'all keep coming in strapped up. Why are we not strapped up? Why I'm not strapped up? Did he have something I need to know about? The infectious disease, and infectious disease they stayed in his room all week, and then they was taking blood. And I said, you can't keep coming to get blood from him. You can't keep poking him like that. I said, if he got Kawasaki, treat the Kawasaki. Because it wasn't. So they were trying to find whatever the disease was going on. That's why I said,
like they still doubted it.
Because by the time he finally got released, his dad got sick. Dad had the worst cough ever. He coughed and he coughed, and I would not let him come around. He couldn't come around us for 3 weeks. He went back and forth to the doctor. They told him it was sinus. Then they came back. They said he didn't have shortness of breath, so he didn't have it. And now all these other different symptoms came after that. They kept saying shortness of breath. They were looking for shortness of breath. Yeah. Or whatever. They said, so you don't have it, so we can't give you the test. They would not give him the test. So I had to make him stay away for 3 weeks. He had to stay long away, right?
Hey, Michelle.
Hello.
Yeah, so it was some stuff, and then he went to the skin afterward. I started looking up everything to see what's going on with the skin. Whole body is dried out everywhere. He itched, the scale. It wasn't wingworm. It didn't look like it was dry scale all down his face, everything.
So it looked like ringworm, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was dry. He kept scratching. It was all up here, all over his body. So he wound up with a large lymph nodes on his neck. So they gave him an antibiotic. And when the lymph nodes came, they changed it to one that can feel any infection in your body. That didn't work. The lymph nodes stayed. He had to go back and go get a sonogram on the lymph node. Then he had to go back to EKG again. So he had to go look at the heart. He been through it just recently. Then he had to go back to the infectious disease. So by the time he got to the infectious disease, they said, Mom, he's fine. He's healthy. He passed all the tests. There's nothing. His body is going through the aftermath of all that he went through in February.
Poor sweet baby.
So now he finally healthy, and he had to go get the COVID test now because he had to get surgery in the mouth.
Oh, did he get the skin ailments after the fever?
Baby Deborah.
Well,
now has a birthday.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Connie.
He is so cute.
Okay. Can you get us down and get the whole name for me? I'm sorry. Yeah, so he's trying to speak as sense as I let him. He be trying to speak till I gotta slow it down. So we just recently went through all that. He in the infectious disease said, Mom, he's healthy, don't worry, everything is good. We did every test. He has not. It's the aftermath of all that he was going through. The fever came later after everything he was going through. The skin already started peeling. That started first. That started out the rib. But they said, put back to me, they never took all his clothes off to see that all of the butter was raw. It was shaky, dry. All over his body. But that's once I found when he started getting fever, I took all his clothes off, laid him down. And I said, oh my God, you got to get out of here. That's cold. And that's what we thought it was. And then when they put an antibiotic by Sunday, the eyes turned pink and red. Then Monday they was bloodshot red, both of them.
Yeah, you know, I seen this lady. She posted on Facebook. She went live on Facebook. She had COVID. Both of her eyes were bloodshot, and it was from COVID. But another thing I seen about COVID was COVID somehow made people more susceptible to certain other things. Like some people were getting meningitis. Remember, it was triggering meningitis in certain people. There were certain things that it made you more vulnerable to. It's strange how, because like it's so new, nobody knows these things, but there were cases where it triggered other viruses. And I wonder if it made like him more susceptible to different things.
Well, guess what? You with that with him. the code once that infectious disease guy, Mr. what's that Feige, whatever his name is, he said the kids were getting the COVID and they were calling it Kawasaki. He said it's not Kawasaki. When they tested for COVID, it came out positive for COVID. And I said that's what infectious disease was chasing for my son. I'm telling you, they kept coming getting that blood. But I probably didn't get sick because my immune system was strong. And it probably was able to before. But dad is older. Dad is in 60. So that's how it took a hold of him like it did. But they gave him a hard time getting the test.
And he had those symptoms, and you know how kids were getting it differently, and they didn't start saying that until I think May. They started to put that on the news that kids manifested different symptoms. He had that back in February, so he was some of the first, a few of the first. Yeah, so it makes sense.
Because here in children they had 100 kids. They had 40 of them they had 100 kids that had it. 40 of them was hospitalized. And 10 of them was in ICU here in DC. And they was calling it Kawasaki.
Which is very rare. Kawasaki was very rare. So it should have already tipped them off that
everybody has Kawasaki. No.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just
for COVID, they came up positive for COVID.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad he's better now. I'm glad
he got
the only thing that bothered me is that they wasn't honest with me. If he had the COVID, okay, he picked it up because he's autistic, so he doesn't eat any fruits and vegetables. So I know his immune system is really weak. So if
definitely.
he picked it up just like that, I can believe that. But don't have me in there stringing me like that. And and that's what's really going on. That's why that infectious disease kept coming in all 5 every day. They checking them out because they don't see it with the Kawasaki had. That's why they keep coming back, looking at the tongue, looking at the hands, nothing swelling, no cherry tongue. The blood work are in the heart. So just be honest with the parents and just and let them. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I told my therapist. They wasn't honest with me. He didn't have
and also when the parents is telling the doctors different things, believe the parents. They not making it up. They telling you.
And how
I tell people, you tell even us with autism kids, you don't go in there and let that doctor tell you, and you tell that doctor this is what he's doing, he or she doing. This is what I have to go through, and we need to get some help. I need you to write up some type of order so we can send it over to the special needs people, and they can bring the right people over here to help us. I said, don't let them tell you. You tell them.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
You are right.
Yep. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad he's good. What was he asking for? Top ramen?
I have always found that trainer and exercising.
That's the best flavor too. That's the best flavor.
All he eats is chicken nuggets and pizza. That's all he eats.
Yeah, chicken nuggets, pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just like Emily.
Drinkable applesauce that has veggies and fruit. I got him to do that, so he'll drink those. And I got them. They deliver him Pediasure Sidekick. Pediasure Sidekick is a nutrient shake, like a Pediasure.
And it helps.
Not the weight gaining one, but the nutrient shake. It has the fiber, the beta-tine, and all that. I get it. It's called Pediasure Sidekick. So health service special needs, they have 3 cases every month delivered to him.
Oh, that's great.
Let me tell you something. I'm a teacher. So everything Cody needs, I make sure he gets. And the kids in my class, whatever they need, I make sure they get.
Good.
That's awesome.
No therapist lack on them, and I don't let no parent lack on them either.
I think you're getting well,
I fight for the children.
I saw your little one.
Yeah.
Michelle, I thought I saw your little one peek in there.
No. They're upstairs on the laptops. You won't see them.
Okay.
They're like, I got our laptop.
Not on there because they died.
Well, because I haven't let them have the laptops because I had them for school. But now this year, no matter what we choose to do with our kids, whether we do homeschool or the virtual where they only have to do it for 6 months, they're going to give every student a device. So every student's getting a device for school, even if they're on site.
Good.
So
Yeah,
it sounded to me like
great.
the teachers aren't going to be doing a lot of real teaching. They're going to be just depending on the device.
Paulette, how you teaching your kids?
I'm not. They don't. What I did with my kids was I created packets for them, for the mom, to help show them how to work with them at home. Every sheet that I created for them, I laminated and gave them a dry eraser marker. So if they was working with this letter, I told mom, you can wipe it off and you can start working with the next letter. They had all the different things with rolling the dice and counting the dots on the dice and matching it to the dice or the number on it. I teach kids through play. I go on their level. However they do it, we ice clap, we rap, we clap, we dance, whatever it takes for them to do it. I told mom, it's your turn now. You got to go dance and sing and clap the songs, the numbers, and all that stuff. So that's why I created a really big packet. I put it in a big Ziploc, and they can always wipe it off and start over and do a different letter. You know, making it easy and mom could work with it. They have the materials, so they could see what it was I was doing, from sight words to just the alphabet, that known their name, and I put the different UT website that we dance off of with certain things in the classroom. I put that on the paper so they can go in there and they'll be familiar with that. Will help them to remember the numbers, the letters, and colors, whatever.
That's good.
Things is so messed up right now with the kids. This is like, and I got 3 kids of my own. I got a middle school, I have an elementary school, and I have a special need kid. Then I have my education too, because I'm in college.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you have a lot. Yeah. This is.
Yeah.
I'm homeschooling myself, and then it's gonna be the 2 kids. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
We ain't going outside this house.
Yeah, I know. I've only gone out maybe once every 2 weeks, and it's been to a store, and that's it. Like,
I refuse to go shopping.
Yeah, that's me. I don't
really go shopping. You ordering online?
I order and go pick up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I order it and have delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I usually do when you go to shopping too.
What was that, Charles?
I was telling Michelle, do Instacart.
That's what I usually do in grocery shopping too. I'll order the groceries and then pick them up. Or today, Christine and I decided to order dinner from a local restaurant, and again, I went and picked it up.
Yeah.
I don't even want to order.
Yeah, they brought it right out to the car, and
because you don't know who has it.
Yeah, I don't even order. I don't want to order nobody food delivery. I don't even trust the people delivering it. I don't know, because I don't know who has it.
I'm like you, Paulette. I'm like you.
Yeah, I haven't. You know, during this time, I have cooked so many meals during this time. I have never cooked so much in my life that I have since March. Yeah, it's just I'm coming up with all kind of recipes, you know, looking at all different things. But yeah, I have eaten out the least amount, and because I don't really prefer to eat out anyways. But because we can't go to a restaurant, that's less excuse to eat out. Like, I would go out because we're going out, you know. But as far as eating out food at home, there's some things I like, but I wish I liked it more. But that's what it is. So I've done all kind of cooking. But I had my groceries delivered, but then there's certain things that Steve will go get like every 2 weeks. So I go with him every 2 weeks. But during the in-between time, I do get my Walmart delivered for the groceries I need here and there. Or I'll pick up Target. I'll just go do a pickup at Target already ordered. Yeah, but I haven't done those 2 things since March. I've done, you change your way of living after all this, right?
Yeah.
Right, but me and my daughter, because she's educated, but she's never been in class. She's been working with FBI since she came out of college. But she has a big house with never land. So we go to her house, or she come to mine. Most of the time we go to her house where the kids can play. We had a big beach party in her backyard. She had water slides and
nice.
Nice. So she's very creative like me. So we did that too. Everybody said, where the heck are y'all at? We said, in the backyard. They could not believe the stuff that they saw and what we were doing. But the kids you got to create something for them to do, because they're not going to make it inside the house all day. It's every day.
Especially in the summer.
We're going to bed in the daytime and stand up at night. Anybody care doing that?
Yeah, everybody. That's one of the biggest things we've heard is the schedules are off. The sleep schedules are definitely off.
Everybody's saying their kids is up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. So Dad is complaining. Dad gets them.
Just remind me that when we get through here, I need to take back the chicken flies that I'm going to cook tomorrow night for dinner.
It's bored. Ain't nothing to do. If they sleep all day, that's free for me. I ain't got to worry about it to their mama. So if they sleep at night, they up. They doing their thing on the FaceTime or whatever, Roblox, fine. But when I get up, I don't want to hear that noise all day. It's bored. Ain't nothing to do. We can't do that. That's very annoying. So I tell them, if they want to sleep all day, you at work. Who cares? You don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Let them be asleep. That's fine for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
That's how I figure. If I'm home all the time, it doesn't matter. I'm home around the clock. Do what you want around the clock. If you want to sleep, during this shift,
Right,
whatever,
look, I'm sorry, I don't got it right now. I just lifted up my whole backyard in my living room. My living room is so large. I have one side that has a sliding board, like a climb up playground with a sliding board, trampoline, and a 6-foot dollhouse. All on that side. Then the next side is my living room and big TV where I can sit back. But they got all that in their room. Their rooms are huge. But I do that because kids come over here all the time. They're always little kids, this kid, and they the ones that play on the backyard. Mine don't. But I lifted up because my daughter wanted a slumber party. So I try to create something where I can keep it safe, right? So I created, my daughter, she had these tents that she built. We built the tent. And every tent had their own, blow-up bed. So each tent, they had their own individual tent, their own blow-up bed, their own pillows, their own blanket.
Nice. That was a good idea.
And they had their own breakfast trays at each tent. So when they ate, they had their own. But they did interact at some point. Like we played bingo. We was all around the big table because I have like a large table down on the table. So we played bingo. It was only like 6 girls. We played they did slime. So things like that. But when they came in, I made sure they took showers. They hand me their clothes. I put them in the wash machine. When they got in the shower, they dropped their clothes right there. I washed everybody's clothes. I made sure they drank a hot cup of tea every night before they went to bed.
I heard that you drink hot tea and hot liquid.
And then on your stove, you should cook.
Really?
You should have on your stove. You should have onions. You should have oranges, lemons, onions, and ginger in a pot of water, and just let it slowly just simmer. Let it roam throughout your whole house. That right there is supposed to fight that bacteria of that germ.
Nice.
So I tell my kids when they come in the kitchen, I say, get on the pot, take a sniff. I tell them, inhale it. Take an inhale and walk away. So when I have it roaming through the stove, I don't have one today because I took it and dumped it earlier so I can create a new one. I went and got some more fresh orange, lemons, some ginger root. And you can use tamarind too. You can shake tamarind in it if you don't have the ginger root. Shake the tamarind or the clovers in it. Yeah. Okay. Some people use garlic. I don't use the garlic because I want to smell citric in the house. We use garlic, it gives us a different smell. But on the stove in a pot of water, just the orange, lemon, onions, and the tamarind or the ginger root. Just slice it up, slice them up in there, and just let it on real low. Just let it roam throughout your house all day, and you know you inhale it in your body. I probably think that's why we. And then you got to use this too. You got to use this macrobane.
I finally found some.
Macrobane.
I finally found. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the kind.
What I do with this is like I clean all the. What's wrong?
It's like medical, right?
Check that before. I wipe off all the light switch. I take bleach, spray, whatever. I wipe off the light switch, the doorknobs, the top of the dining room tables, wherever they do the parts of the bed. All that, I just go through and wipe through all that during the day. Then later I go back and I spray the microban. Every area where I clean, just spray even the kitchen sink. I wipe that, spray this with that because this protects it for 24 hours. When somebody touch it, it doesn't pick up the germ. For 24 hours, sanitize it before you just spray it and let it dry.
Nice.
It's number one on the CBD list, the COVID list.
It is. It was hard for me to find here in Orlando. You know where I found it? I found it in the Family Dollar.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dollar General did have it because they wanted it. When I was grabbing like 4 and 5, people were like, "Why you getting that?" I said, "Y'all don't know it." But it took a long time in DC. I'm telling you, people don't read. They're not reading the code list and none of them. Back in March, when I started collecting all this, I bought about 12 bottles and I put them in the closet. Because I know we're going to need it for a whole year. And this one bottle will last you over a month.
Yeah, because I can't find that. I never could find it in Target, Walmart, in other stores, but I found it in the Family Dollar. I was in Family Dollar.
Walmart, the main one carry, and Giant Food, all them carry.
Well, then everybody in my Walmart must have took them.
Yeah.
Tuck it up, yeah.
You guys get that, and you don't have to. You only have to do it once a day.
Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah,
look
it
for
lasts,
that.
Linda, it lasts 24 hours.
Yeah, 24
Yeah,
hours.
I'm definitely gonna look. I'm looking already online for it.
Yeah, it's good. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why my son came out negative and everything, because we like take those little steps. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I keep Lysol, Lysol wipe, hand sanitizer, Lysol spray, all that right there at the door. You know, my son, he worked with construction. When he come in, he go to the patio, he take his uniform off outside on the patio, and he leave it out there. Then he come and he go wash his hands and stuff. He get the Lysol spray, his clothes. He got to do that every day.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
goodness.
thing is serious. It's like really deep. It's like you think it's going away, and then you boom, and hit somebody close by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. I feel like it's getting closer. Yeah, because it's just getting those people that didn't have it already.
Are we still
Yeah.
gonna have that wave in the fall?
Oh,
What was
I
that?
can't wait. I'm anxious to see when it's fall and it's winter come, what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Well, it's been here since November, so.
No, look, you know the problem.
But the thing is that the one thing that they're wondering is, can you get it twice? Can you get it more than once? You know, so
Good question.
It's gonna be
I think so.
Are you
and then it's already mutated.
But it's gonna be the question. Gonna be, are you sick because you're getting a common cold, or are you sick because you got COVID?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or did you get the flu?
You know,
Right.
Yeah, because it came around in flu season, you know, and then the thing is, you know, a matter of being tested and not just told you have the flu, but then, and it's already mutated, so it's already another strain out there, you know, so who's going to get that one? Will it be the same people reinfected? So there's all kind of questions, but yeah.
And those people that work for me they was out of work for 2 weeks, they were down for sick as a dog. They said they never felt that bad in their life. They said, I had COVID. They never told us. They called it the flu.
Yeah.
My job was out 2 weeks at a time. And all I heard them say, I ain't never been sick like that in my life. They ain't know what was going on. And then
I had a friend that was sick in November, and she got a flu test and everything, and they said it was negative, but she had the most terrible respiratory infection that she's ever had in her whole life. She thought she was drowning.
That was called a respiratory.
Yeah, see, and that's strange.
Michelle, they weren't saying it was COVID. They said it was something else.
They didn't know it. They didn't have COVID. Yeah, in November they didn't know anything about COVID
until February.
Exactly.
Because just in November, just in November it was hitting in China.
Yeah,
I think it was like end of November or something like that.
But we didn't find out to the United States in February. They said he knew back in January. He knew back in January.
But it was here in November.
Yeah, it was. It was here. It was here a lot sooner. Yeah.
Oh, it was here in November.
Everybody said it was
here in
November.
It was here in November.
It was
that
here.
helped spread it a lot was the Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans, which drew people from all over the world.
Right.
And they came to New Orleans and they gave it to each other. And the virus spread through New Orleans and it spread to all these travelers. They took it back to all the places they traveled from.
Absolutely.
Plus, we had the National Guard people that were stationed in China in October and early November that came home in November.
Yep. Yep.
They brought it with them.
It was what? So I went to Japan and came back mid-November. Right after I got back, I had a friend come back from China in December, you know, and they were still open, going back and forth, and they were okay, you know. So, but all those people during that time period were, you know, traveling. They were okay to travel, but it was there.
Oh, what about the people? Y'all remember on the news when they had the people that was dying somewhere? The husband and the wife went somewhere, and they got sick and died. Then somebody else went over there somewhere, and then they got sick and died.
Paulette, I was getting ready to mention that. That was way before November.
That was way before November.
Yeah. We don't know if that was that.
The couple got sick, and then while they was on their trip,
yes,
somebody else went over there.
Yes.
They got sick, and I said, we can't figure out. They couldn't figure out what the heck was making them sick.
Right. And that was before November. That was like
that was before November.
Yeah.
I remember that couple. They was from Maryland.
Because and they were healthy. That couple was healthy and everything, and then they came back home and they just died.
And they got
Oh
sick
my
and they
goodness.
died.
Right.
And then somebody else went out there somewhere, and they was from somewhere, and they died. They came out and they got sick and died.
Yep.
And that's why I said this stuff probably started way with them and the people that couldn't
I
figure
think
out why they
so,
were
too.
dying.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
This is way before November. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Maryland. They was over here from Maryland. They was from Maryland. There was a couple that went out there on some type
Yes.
of tree.
Did they go to like Jamaica or something or somewhere?
No, it wasn't Jamaica. It was some type of weird like country like.
Yeah.
Something. It wasn't Jamaica.
It was somewhere they went. On a,
They was in a hotel because they thought something in the hotel, something they ate or something.
yes.
They had begun to get sick or whatever. How when they came home, then they wound up dying.
I put 5 bob on a girl.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jamaica. It was somewhere really weird.
Thanks. Would you mind just putting it over there?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is, I think, in time, this is just gonna, we're gonna learn more, but I think, especially with our special needs, with us as well, because we have to be here to take care of our kids, right? We just have to take all the precautions, possible, and, not going outside, doing things unnecessary, being unnecessarily risky, being responsible and everything until, things are a bit safer. But I think this is good because we all share our input, our different things that we do, to keep our loved ones safe. And, at the same time, we may not be able to get out, but we can join, and discuss and, talk about things and, kind of de-stress and talk about the different things we're all going through. But I'd like to thank you guys for coming on today, and I'd like to thank everybody who joined us. I'd like to thank Lorienda for co-hosting the LPA with me and filling in for Nita. Thank you so much, and thank you, Michelle, too. Thank you for offering, and you guys will see Michelle, you guys will see Lorienda. They'll be hosting sometime, so definitely keep your eye out for them. And nice seeing you, Paulette. Of course, nice always seeing you, Charles, and hearing your jokes and everything. So, but I hope everybody stays safe and stays healthy.
I'm supposed to come on here for the other lady. She wanted me to come
Good
in.
night, everyone.
Oh, to do a focus live?
For
okay.
teacher perspective to
okay, perfect.
To understand how it flowed in the classroom.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Be in contact with Nita and she'll get you scheduled and everything. It'll be me or Nita helping you out, like as far as getting you on and everything. So yeah, definitely be in contact. And everybody, again, stay healthy, stay safe, and be careful out there.
Okay.
And I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Good night.